Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to check out another brand new Mattel Jurassic World figure, but yes, it is another of these Fierce Changers figures, and the response to the initial review was a little bit mixed, and that's putting it lightly. Some people really liked these, other people hated them with a passion, and some people I think were like, they are what they are, and that's kind of what I feel like at this point. I mean, they're still really hideous, they're just ugly, but I guess I can definitely see the appeal to them. They're interesting, I'll just put it that way. But this time we've got the massive stretch Indoraptor and Brachiosaurus. So this is one that I was kind of drawn to because I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Indoraptor. I think it was a really cool dinosaur that they made for Fallen Kingdom, and let's see if he's got an articulated jaw. Yes, he does. And this time, again, we've got another version of the Indoraptor. And I try to always get anything Mattel releases with an Indoraptor. So I was kind of torn when it comes to not liking these figures, but also still wanting it for the Indoraptor. Look at how good those teeth look, though. The teeth look really nice on these figures, like better than the mainline figures, which is really weird. But as far as the box art goes, you can see it's pretty much just like the first one was. These are the larger ones. I believe there's the smaller size range, almost like kind of like a Tac Pack size range maybe. I don't know, I don't have any of them yet, but I've seen them in packaging and it's more of like that sort of style. Then there's these ones, and then there's a larger T-Rex one. So there are different sizes of these Fierce Changers. But here on the back, you can again see basically how the Indoraptor transforms into a Brachiosaurus, and you have these images here. This one actually shows off the Giga one that we had taken a look at, but this here shows you again how it transforms from one dinosaur into another in 16 steps. So let's pop it out of the box and check it out. So here is our Indoraptor sort of dinosaur figure. I'm trying to get it to see if it'll stand bipedally. Yeah, it does. Not well, but it does. But here's the Indoraptor version, and just like I said, let's just put it down like this. And just like I said with the Giganotosaurus, it's hideous. Like, it looks ugly, but the head sculpt looks kind of cool. Again, has that, definitely doesn't look exactly like an Indoraptor, but has that exaggerated style that you usually see to figures that, like Snap Squads pop up. Similar stuff like that, or like the Bendy Biters, that's what they're called. Similar stuff like that, where they just give them an exaggerated, stylized look, and it still kind of looks like the dinosaur it's meant to represent. You definitely have that going on with the Indoraptor version. Of course, we're not going to take a look at the actual Brachiosaurus version until we take that closer look, and we'll transform it and look at it from there. But my first glance here at it, it's definitely unimpressive, to say the least. It still doesn't look very, very cool, but, I mean, it's something. It is what it is, I guess. So let's jump to a closer look at it right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Indoraptor, you can see it does contain some really nice scale detail. Very reptilian scale detail, and very reminiscent of the Indoraptor from Fallen Kingdom as far as the actual texturing to the skin goes. You can see the nostrils. We've also got a very evil looking eye, similar to what we had seen with the Giganotosaurus, but we have a red eye and a black pupil. We have an articulated jaw, which is pretty cool. You can see the teeth, again, look really nice, actually. And then we've got the tongue sculpted out in there, nice realistic pinkish tone, as well as a gloss coat for the inside of the mouth. And then, as you move back into the body, you do have a few of those quills that you see on the back of the neck of the Indoraptor showing up. You've also got that gold stripe that begins to show up here and move down the course of the Indoraptor. You've got some ridges here moving along, and some nice kind of armored scoots moving along the back of the spinal column. A few osteoderms as you move down into what should be the arm of the Indoraptor, but again, very clearly looks like an inverted leg, like I kind of expect it to. And another problem with having the Indoraptor mixed with anything is the Indoraptor has this same similar style of skin texture through the whole body, but as you can see when you move down here, these are more textured like what you would see for the Brachiosaurus. So we lose that classic Indoraptor style texturing when you move into what should be, again, the arms, but like I said, are basically just legs for the Brachiosaurus. We have the fingers here sculpted out where you kind of pull them out, and now they've got like claws and stuff to them. And then as you move back here, you now have that lighter tone for the lower half, which would be like the primary Brachiosaurus coloration here, moving down. You can switch, of course, the nails out for, or even just the toes, I should say, for the toes and nails of the Indoraptor here to kind of give it more of that predator sort of look, but we don't have like a sickle claw or anything like that. And then as you move back up to the tail, you can see the tail is disgustingly short, but it does at least have that Indoraptor style scaling to it. And now, of course, we're going to try to transition this into the Brachiosaurus. And it was a little bit confusing when I did this with the Giganotosaurus and the Pseudoceratops. So let's see if we can figure this out. First of all, I'm going to, I guess I have to pop this open down here. There we go. And move these arms out of the way. And then we're going to have to push that. And if it's similar to the way that the Giga worked, we'd have to do it like this. And then close it. And nope. Okay, so I guess it's going to go the other way now. So there we go. We just had to put the tail under the head, whereas with the Giganotosaurus, we had to actually put the tail on top of the head. So that's a bit different. Now we've got to reposition these legs so they're more correctly associated with the Brachiosaurus. You've also got to push those in. So now it more so resembles the feet. Well, not even, but kind of resembles the foot of what a Brachiosaurus would look like. And then we've got to switch these out because you could now pull these nails out. You push those in. Same deal we're going to have to do over here. So we have more of a Brachiosaurus, sort of a foot sculpt. And the feet, or legs I should say, can pull out so you can make them longer or push them in. And of course we want to have them pushed in for a Brachiosaurus. And then we can, I believe, pull these out maybe? Yes, there we go. So we pull those out to extend those a little bit. So we've got the neck and we can pull the neck out. I should have known that, but like, why is it not going out all the way? It like falls right back down. There we go. We had to click it into the spot. But boy, is that thing ugly. Look at that. That is awful looking. You can see if we get up close to the head, we've got a very angry look for our Brachiosaurus. Absolutely the grumpiest Brachiosaurus. Kind of looks like an old man version of a Brachiosaurus. I could just imagine this guy sitting on his porch and yelling at all the kids that come by to stay off his lawn. But you can see we do have a little bit of variation of color as we have a slightly darker shade of like a gray that runs up there into the face. The eye does have a nice yellow, really nice gloss coat to it. And there is a nice speckling to the figure, which is nice to see. But as a whole, once you move down into the neck, it begins to look really terrible right there in the neck region. We have this dark gray moving over the back. And the texturing to the skin, again, does look really nice. That actual darker gray coloration is smoothly applied. So like it does have really nice fine detail, as you always find when it comes to Mattel figures. No matter what they create, they go all out when it comes to the detailing aspect and always give you a very, very highly detailed sculpt. It's just that these things, I don't know that there was really any saving them because they just don't look good. Now, I think it mostly just comes down to preference. Like, you might look at this and think it looks excellent. I don't like it, being a fan of actual dinosaurs and seeing just how chopped up it is and just how weird looking it is. It's definitely not the type of thing that I would be excited about, but I, of course, wanted to kind of get them up here on the channel and review them for you guys. I try my best to get everything that Mattel releases that people might be interested in seeing reviews of up here on the channel at one point in time or another, and there were some requests for these Fierce Changer figures, actually quite a few people requesting them, so I did want to get a hold of them, even if it was something that I don't personally find interest in. And you can see again, it doesn't look very good. I would actually say that the Giganotosaurus and the Pseudoceratops version was a little bit better because this Brachiosaurus just looks really weird with the neck region, but again, I can see why people might be interested in them. I could see why they might have fun with them just because it's a dinosaur that can transform into another dinosaur. And even though it's not my cup of tea, I do have to give Mattel credit. Like, I gotta give them props for really thinking outside the box on this one and coming up with something that is still kind of fresh. You know, it's not something we've really seen much of in the past, so it's Mattel continuing to evolve, continuing to try to give us different ideas, different style dinosaur toys and stuff. And, you know, kudos to them for trying. It's just not my cup of tea personally. But as far as a size goes for the Brachiosaurus, now if we pulled the Giga out, it would pretty much be the same thing size-wise. You can see it's about 7 3/4 inches or around 19.5 centimeters. And then height-wise, which this might be a little taller than the Giga would be because we've got the longer neck, you were looking at about 4 3/4 inches or around 12 centimeters, maybe a little bit over For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. It almost looks like the Colovosaurus is sniffing the Brachiosaurus's butt, and I just realized that right now. Maybe not the best placement for that guy. But you can see next to this particular size range of these fierce changers, it does have a pretty decent size to it. It's not huge, but it's also not small by any means. And then here's the Brachiosaurus next to the Giganotosaurus, one that we've recently reviewed to can give you an idea of the size of the two of them together. They are pretty much the same size. And I don't feel like we really need to do too many comparisons, but we will bring in a Mattel Velociraptor for one final comparison. Again, there's not a whole lot that I can really compare next to these guys because they're just so weird, they're so different, so unique. I did have a little bit more as far as comparisons go in the Giganotosaurus review if you want to check that out. But again, they do sport a pretty decent size, definitely a little bit bigger than I was expecting. So this brand new Mattel Jurassic World Fierce Changers Brachiosaurus / Indoraptor is pretty much just like the Giganotosaurus and Nasutoceratops was. Fairly unimpressive, but still a little bit more kind of impressive than I was expecting. Like, they have nicer fine detail and nicer sculpts overall than I thought they would, and the teeth specifically of both the Giga and the Indoraptor are really nice. Better than the teeth that we see in the main line, in my opinion. But on top of that, again, once you actually take a look at the figure from like a whole wide view and get a, just kind of soak it up, get a good idea of what it looks like, it just does not look very good. I will say, though, the Brachiosaurus almost looks better than any of the others just because it doesn't look super mutated when it's standing here, but at the same time, the neck just kind of kills it for that one. But the dinosaurs, especially when it's, set up as the Indoraptor, it's very obviously not an arm for the dinosaur, and I think that's one of the things that really massacre these figures for me, is just how awkward it looks when you have the arms like that. If there were some way to kind of transform like a theropod into a theropod and keep the arms looking like arms and the legs looking like legs, I don't know how you would do it, but it would look better. But transforming it from a herbivore to a carnivore just makes it really awkward. Again, the paintwork is okay for what they are. We do have some decent coloration to them, but not really a whole lot going on. And it is kind of fun to transform them. I definitely could see kids enjoying this, so it's not necessarily something that doesn't have a fan base. I think kids would love these, but as far as adult collectors go, myself anyway, I'm not a very huge fan of them. But if you are interested in picking up this Indoraptor Brachiosaurus Fierce Changers figure, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on Amazon.com. So make sure you check that link, go grab this very interesting figure if you are interested, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.